Hey, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Hurricane Central here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel for your 5 o'clock advisory update here on Hurricane Erin, which has weakened a lot during the day. You know, we had an environment became a little less conducive for development. We had wind shear. We had a little bit of some dry air that got sucked into this thing. It looks like here, looking at the last few images here for this afternoon, it's trying to reconstitute some sort of a core there. But typically, what I've seen in the past on things like this, they don't really ever get back to what they were before in their prime. Okay, so there might be some slight strengthening on this, but I'm not expecting a whole lot. But the wind field is still fairly large across there, over 250 miles. And that wind field, because of that size, is going to still generate a tremendous amount of wave action. There's already been some rescues along the coastal areas. They have evacuated the Outer Banks because of the expected winds that they're going to see out there. I'm going to show you that, and also the height. So major beach erosion is going to be taking place from Florida all the way up past North Carolina. It's going to be just one of those days we have to watch for the next couple of days because this thing is really slowed down. It's not moving all that fast right now. What I got currently up right now is you kind of see the right now the water vapor imagery. So you kind of see the cluster of storms there, trying to get a little more reorganized around that center of circulation. But again, just like I said, you know, hurricanes are one big giant heat engine, and if they don't have all the ingredients going for it right there, and if they don't have that clear chimney to allow that heat to kind of evacuate the top, they just can't get their self really going to become you know, a big, powerful system. And I don't think we're going to see that here. Let's take a little bit closer perspective here on this. Again, you can kind of see the track here on this as it's going to be moving in a northwesterly direction, north-northwesterly direction, about 10 miles per hour. So the winds are 105 miles per hour. And again, you can see now we have tropical storm warnings up here along the Outer Banks, tropical storm watches up here north of that, heading up into the Chesapeake. So, and we also have a tropical storm watch up for Bermuda as well. So those are all the areas there that are under the gun here for this system as it continues to move up into the north-northwesterly direction. Here's the visible imagery on this. Let me get a little bit closer perspective as we still got some sunlight out there. You see that explosion of thunderstorms here on the north side of the center of circulation. So it's still trying to get a little bit better organized right now. The plots, again, don't really strengthen the system. It brings up to about 110, some slight strengthening, because the European model and the NAM model were still trying to strengthen this storm significantly. And the only reason why it's not is because that core is just not as organized as it was earlier, and it's going to take too long before it finally gets caught up by some of the westerlies that are going to accelerate this thing and take it on out. We'll watch and monitor it closely to see if it does something surprisingly tonight, especially at night. That's when hurricanes are, to me, I get the most nervous is when the hurricanes get at night, because the diurnal effect of how they can bring in the heat at the surface is a little bit more efficient at night compared to the daytime heating during the day. So just a couple things to kind of watch with that right there. All right, so again, I'm kind of watching what's going on there along the coast right there. Again, we're looking at Jacksonville Beach, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington Beach there. Wilmington Beach especially, that's where that one there in the bottom left-hand corner, that's where they're going to really see the real significant waves come in by tomorrow evening. So by the time we get ready to do this tomorrow evening, you're going to see some big changes there with that. We're going to see things begin to change a bit there with the conditions there. So it's going to deteriorate quite rapidly. Myrtle Beach, same thing. So again, folks, hopefully they're just staying out of the water and not getting in there, because that is just one place you do not want to be with that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the model data. I got some things I do want to show you here with this. Let's go look at the model data here on this. Again, this is the NAM, which is going crazy with the strength. It's still been doing that for days, taking this thing back to a Cat 5. I'm not worried about the strength as per se, but the track is what I'm kind of looking here on this. This is the 12Z run here. In fact, I think I got the 18Z. Let me see if it's up fully in yet. I didn't mean to. I meant to swing this over here. So let's just go over to the 18Z. It's still insisting. It's initializing correctly at 960, because that's about what it's sitting at pressure-wise. It still wanted to strengthen this thing up big time. So I'm going to watch it closely. Again, the NAM did very well with Hurricane Michael when it got very powerful there. But I don't think we're going to see the same thing. I do think it's going to strengthen a little bit, but not to this scale. But I am looking at that track there. So the track really hasn't changed that much. It gets very close here to the beach. I'm going to show you some of the winds here on the Outer Banks that are expected. So that wind field is going to be tremendous. You're going to get this very strong northeasterly wind that's just going to be patterning these coastal conditions in here as the storm goes on by. So we're going to have beach erosion, obviously some high wave action that's going to go in there. And this thing's going to slowly begin to move on by. Again, this is going into Thursday because it just shows you how we got a couple days to watch this thing. It's Tuesday right now, obviously, and this going into Thursday afternoon. It starts to slowly pull away on Thursday. So we got a couple more days to watch this thing before it heads on out. Let's compare this with the European model here. Kind of look at this. Similar track. It really is. Very similar track here on the European model as this thing comes on up right through there. And again, it's getting very close to the coastline. You can see some of these outer bands that are going to get into the Cape Hatteras area, the Wrightsville Beach, that whole zone in there as this thing goes on by and then swings on out to sea. So again, we got 2 more days of just constant bombardment with the sea conditions. That's going to be a real headache for folks. And again, I just hope, folks, we don't get any reports of any drownings or any deaths along the coast because people decide they want to get in the water and play when the rip currents are a major, major problem. All right, so let's talk about the wind. Let's look at the wind here. Again, this is the European model here on this. It's initialized best as far as the conditions here. Notice as I get up here toward Thursday morning. So Thursday, between Thursday morning and Thursday, that looks like when the winds will be at their worst. So you're looking at 50, 60 mile per hour winds out there on those outer banks coming through there. Some of the interior sections still looking at winds right near tropical storm strength here, just along these inland counties here on North Carolina. So it's going to be quite windy. Norfolk's showing 40 mile per hour winds. So again, that's why they got the tropical storm watch is up that way as well. So this is the wind field on our hurricane as it goes on by and moves on back out to sea. So that'll be good when it gets on out of here, and then we can turn our attention to what's going to go on behind this. And I'll show you that here in just a second as well. I got a new update on that. Let's look at, let's see here. That's the thing I wanted to look at next. But that was everything. Okay. I just wanted to show both those main things here for today. So again, the next thing we got to watch out there is going to be what's behind the system. Now, this one here I think this one's going to follow right behind it. This one right here is showing a 60% chance for development in this one. Now, this one's 30%, and the models are locking in on this one. This is Invest 99. It's tracking across to the west. We got a while to watch that one to see if we're going to get any kind of development on either one of these two systems. So I think we're probably going to get our F storm here, Ferdinand, a little bit later this week, probably toward Friday and Saturday, I'm thinking, and then we'll track and see what happens. Right now, I'm not worried. Initially, I was worried about the 60% one perhaps sneaking in the Caribbean going north. But all the model guidance is shifting that thing to where it's going to be shifting out to sea. Not so sure about the one behind that one. That one's going to be a lot. Roughly, if you get anything out here, you get anything that's developing out here, you basically got 10 days to watch before that. So before it even gets, it'll be probably somewhere around the 30th or the 31st before it even gets anywhere near the east coast of the United States. So we got a long way to watch that one here for today. So again, I want to go back up here to the top here. Let's go look at the satellite imagery here. I want to go back to Radar Omega here. And I want to show that. Let me clear that out real quick. There we go. And again, so good news here is that we're watching this thing go on by here. Let me switch over to another, let me switch over to the long wave IR so it looks a little bit better for you. There we go. Kind of see a little bit better there. Looking at the infrared. So again, you can kind of see this thing going along. You get that dark core, but not really a really established central dense overcast. That's when you got a real good thunderstorm cluster around that center eye. The eye's still pretty big as well on that. So that is what we're looking at on that. In fact, let me go ahead and take one little look here. I want to look and see. I want to look and see if we got a new vortex message because the Hurricane Hunter aircraft are out there. So if you bear with me for 1 second, I will take a quick look. And I want to double check and see here. Vortex NHC message. All right, we just got to look that up real quick. Here we go. And let's see what we got here. Last organization here. So pressure still holding at 960. That's what it was on last update there. And note that and the 18-mile wide eye showing up there. Flight level was 93 knots. So it's kind of holding its own right now. So kind of ragged. Not a closed off eye, not like we had earlier when you had some very dramatic video. I don't know if y'all saw the pictures from the Hurricane Hunter showing that stadium effect in that very small eye. When this thing was at 160 mile per hour winds, it only had like a 5-6 mile wide eye. And that's back-to-back years I saw. I saw that with the last year's storm out in the out there golf. What was the name of that storm? Not Michael. Dadgummit, I got Michael on the brain. Anyway, it was the M storm last year. Milton last year. Milton last year had that going on for it at that time. So anyway, we got Edith out there to this afternoon. We got Rashawn out there. We got Tyler the main man. How's it going, Tyler? We got a lot of bird out there as well. Again, I appreciate you guys checking out the updates here. These are doing pretty well. They're getting several hundred views at a time, and I'm okay with that. That's probably the best I can hope for here. Although I got the YouTube guys knocking down my door asking, hey, we can help you try to grow your channel. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'll give you some money, I guess. But now we're doing okay. I appreciate we're going on this. And my North Georgia Majestic Weather page is also doing well on Facebook. We're getting ready to knock on 14,000 on that one. That's kind of my main effort, but I will never give up my first love, which of course is my Weather Nerds YouTube channel, and I'll continue to work it for you guys. So anyway, that's what we're looking at for right now. Now for tomorrow, we're going to kind of play it by ear. I'm thinking maybe we might do a little bit longer coverage going into tomorrow night, maybe. We'll see how things are looking along the coastal areas here a little bit. As again, it looks like it's going to be Thursday, more toward Thursday, when things will kind of be looking a little rough there along the Carolina coastal area. So we'll keep an eye on that real quick. And I want to go back to that camera real quick, but I do got to fix something real quick because I'm a real idiot with something here. So let me fix this one camera shot real quick for you, real quick. So we go back to that quad chart there, and I'll fix that real quick. There we go. Got it fixed now. There we go. So again, we're going to keep a watchful eye on all four of those cameras there, especially those going up the beach. I'll look and see if I can find some other cameras there in Wilmington Beach area to see if I get some other more cameras out there. Obviously, there's going to be a high volume of people out there looking and wanting to see what's going on. There's Wilmington Beach loading up there. So right now, the surf doesn't look too bad, but it's rough enough to where there's rip currents all over the place. I was seeing some of the drone footage on TV on one of the news channels. We're kind of showing where the rip currents were already very active, and showing some of the beach erosion out on North Carolina. They're actually shoveling up the sand and kind of getting protection for trying to protect some of the dunes and some of the flooding they're going to anticipate there, because I mean 20 to 25 foot seas, that's pretty rough. That's going to cause some beach erosion and cause some problems, regardless of the fact that this thing's not going to make a landfall in there. All right, that is y'all's update here for this afternoon here at 5 o'clock. I do appreciate you guys checking us out for today. Again, if you are new to the channel and you haven't given us a subscribe, please help us out there. Right now, all these updates do for us is they kind of maintain my audience up there. So we lose a few, we gain a few. Some of that's through attrition because you got bots out there that get in there, and then YouTube kind of squirrels those people out. And so you got to bring in new folks to kind of maintain the audience there. And hopefully when I think right now we're about $30 on the YouTube side. Once we get back up to 100, I'll spend another 100 and put it back on here and try to grow the audience a little bit more. So anyway, that is y'all's update here for today. You guys take it easy. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30, my normal start time. I had to start a little earlier this morning because I had to take my dad to a VA appointment. So we'll be back tomorrow morning with the weather report. We'll do a complete breakdown of weather across the nation, the false or fake fall that's coming in across a big part of the country. Thanks to this hurricane that's going to go by, it's going to cause a big change in the overall weather pattern. And we'll talk about that tomorrow morning, and we'll give you the latest on our storm as well. All right, that's your Hurricane Central update here for 5 o'clock. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good night.